Okay, and we're live. So hi everyone and welcome to my channel, Hisame Artwork. Today I'm going to color page 85 from our comic book Niels Feynman's Time Traveling Adventures. We're gonna start with panel 1 and I need to get a older page for the color. I'll just go get the character sheet. I think that will be the easiest. Hope everyone's doing okay this Saturday afternoon or morning, depending where you are. Where I am, it's morning. Oh yeah, the nose. I took pink for a reason. I forgot the reason by the time I flipped the page. I'm waiting for my tea to cool down so I can drink it. I need some caffeine in my blood. Because I'm totally not a morning person. Never was. Don't think I can ever be. Oh, hi June. How are you? Hope you can hear me okay. I think I turned my mic on. Yep, seems to be working. Oh, I'm so sleepy. I didn't even see you wrote my name wrong. I was like, yay, June. Do you want me to talk you over the next page, 86? Yeah, okay. So here is panel 1, and we're looking from the outside of the building, from the courtyard to the roof area where they're sitting at the small window. If you remember, the building has on the roof small windows. And Erwin is asking, that's why I left so much empty space here. Yeah, it's best to go over it because sometimes we have like little things that get overlooked, and we have to change them. So Erwin here is excited. He thinks he found Newton's secret documents that were illegal, like his alchemy papers and his religious papers that were kind of blasphemous for that time, like his journal, his views on God and stuff like that. So that's what Erwin thinks he found. He found dirt on Newton, but actually it's just his research papers. So that's why in panel 2, Erwin is disappointed that he didn't found any uh, skeletons in his closet. But Niels is happy that he found the first draft of the Principia Mathematica. And of course, Marie is still insisting that Niels should put back the papers because they're not his, and to stop snooping around. And of course, while they're sitting on the window, the wind blows and they lose all the papers. And Erwin is trying to catch some of them, and Niels as well. So Marie is um, grabbing Niels. Yeah, Marie is always right. So Marie jumps and catches his shirt to make sure he doesn't fall out the window, because Niels is trying to catch the papers and he only has like one or two in his hand. The rest were blown away. Oh. And in the last panel, there's like a top perspective view of the building. So this line here is the top roof line, and you have those chimneys on each side. You actually have a bunch of chimneys. I only drew 2 of them to not confuse you too much. Hey Kirani, how are you? Glad to have you. Will you be streaming later today as well? Oh yeah, so June, and here is the mysterious cat lady, because she's part of this whole conspiracy here. And then from the top you can see the lawn. That's gonna be the whole street behind the panels here. So you don't need to be too detailed about them because we're not gonna see much. You can draw a couple of lines, I can do the rest. I mean, if you don't have time, you can not even do the back here because I have the line art already. Oh, you don't have good internet. Yeah, so sorry about that. It's pretty sad without good internet. Kairani, are you gonna go to some other of the Mana Up streams? Like, if there's something interesting, let me know, and I come and join you. Okay, and that's gonna be the street. So, you know, the lawn, then the border, then the street, and then the shops across the street. So that's gonna be pretty much it. This is Niels ink. Okay. We always post in the stream night channel and cross tweet. Hopefully, we keep up the rhythm. Yeah, but I rarely get any of those because I'm not on Twitter. Oh, the fall festival. That's nice. I don't know if there's any fall festival here in my village. Probably there is, but the past ones have been pretty disappointing. I actually started a new series, which is a horror. Got to leave for a moment. We're doing a Stardew Valley in real life. Aw, that's nice. Unlucky my phone notifies me for post. It's difficult to juggle, but yay, technology simplifies lives. Yeah. I don't know. Social media just totally exhausts me. There's so much stuff there that I can't follow. I mean, I know other people can, but for me, it's just an overload, and I have a hard time following what everybody does. I get so many ads as well. And I think I saw something, interesting from a friend, and it turns out to be just another ad. A new series, yes, it's a short story and it's horror mystery. And it is in the um, Niels Feynman universe. I just wanted to do something a bit different, and I thought I'd do it in a different series. I've been working on it for a long time. I can't manage in your Discord. It's always so crowded, and there's a lot of Pokemon things that pop up and attract my attention, so it's really hard to read, and it's intersected with all the Pokemon things, so I'm just lost there. I try and read, but I eventually lose interest, and I kind of have to force myself to uh, read through all the stuff. And I'm in a bunch of other Discord groups as well. I don't even bother reading through all of those. That one's just so the other story is just writing. I'm trying to get better at writing, so I figured I should publish some of the stuff I've written. It's okay, it's in the moment place. Otherwise, I agree 100%. R2 process seems to be the main way to keep updated. Yeah, I weekly uh, go and check out what other people have done when I have time. I try and visit as many pages from artist friends as I can. Try and keep up with everything. And good, you're always set to expand and grow. How to the guild noobs. Ah, you mean that I go and look at other people's pages, yeah. Yeah, because, it's the best way in my opinion. The downside to this is, if someone doesn't go and check out my stuff as well, I forget about them. Like, for example, there are a bunch of two friends that I think they even abandoned Facebook and Twitter. So if they're not posting anything, they're not checking back on me, I like totally forget about them. And I start following new people, so like they keep going down on my list of people I go and check out. Because you have like a list of the order of which you've added someone to follow on Twitter. And yeah, the top ones are definitely gonna get clicked more because they're more recent and they're easier to get to. So neither way is great, but I think if somebody likes your stuff and you like their stuff, then if it's mutual, it's a lot easier to maintain. Juggling is a pain. Expand and growing is a fantastic example. Thank you, Kairani. Oh, have fun in town. Hope you find lots of goodies. Thank you, dear. Hope you have a good time. And see you later. I think we were supposed to talk about something yesterday, but I forgot. I'll check back into Discord later. See if you wrote me anything there. Thank you, you too. So here I'm selecting this part and erasing it. There was a fill there, and I think the shoestrings of his shirt are missing there, so I'm gonna have to add them. Gotta love the bucket tool feature in Niels Feynman. Sorry, in Clip Studio Paint. My brain got confused and bamboozled. So light is coming from that direction. That foot is gonna be lighter than the others. Getting out my brush, it is the G pen in Clip Studio Paint. That's the name, and that's the simple classical brush, solid, hard edges. and his little thingamabob tool. It looks like a little space alien probe thing. I think it was inspired by the Doctor Who screwdriver. Do you remember? We looked at weird screwdrivers on the internet and kind of picked one. And it looked weird. I think my tea is ready and I can have some. I found a nice chocolate mint tea. It's like a really awesome combination. It's like a liquid cookie, but not a smoothie. It just smells like mint and chocolate. It's one of the most interesting teas I've had. My husband actually found it. I'm not that curious about trying new stuff when it comes to food. I know what I like and I tend to only eat that. Oh, Marie is missing some lines as well. I think June was sleepy when she did the line art. And I couldn't see it in the preview. Because it's a pretty small preview. Let's see, I'm pulling out my tablet. And I'm gonna want the G pen black. And also Niels. Straight lines, right? Yes. Some are underneath, some are over. No, wait, it's not an X. I'm not awake either, so like I looked 3 times. Yeah, we gotta close the line at her bum. And now should be good. Yep. And fill in that properly. It has an edge detection, so I need to be careful. And I think her color is missing here. It should have been there. I'm gonna put some purple. There we go, better. His face is so easy to make funny, like a bit of a monkey. Actually, I think in chapter 2, people thought he was a monkey. You actually had monkeys in 17th century UK. I don't know for Cambridge, but they brought them to the United Kingdom as curiosities for circuses, and also nobility had them as pets. I was actually surprised how much was going on in the UK at the time. I kind of figured their peak was in the 19th century, yeah. So the 1800s, but it was actually doubtful then. Because in the 17th century, so the 1600s, you still had plagues in the UK. And I think when our story is taking place is like 20 years after the last woman was burned under the accusations that she's a witch. So when I read that initially, I thought, wow, so it's still the Middle Ages. You got the plague and you got the witch burning, which are kind of brand elements of that time. You think the Middle Ages, you think witch burning, plague and crusades. Well, at this point the crusades had been gone because you had the Renaissantism. Welcome back, June. The Renaissance. Okay, I remembered how you say it in English. Renaissance. But I'm not sure if the UK ever went through the Renaissance. They kind of skipped that. Oh, look, this is eating my internet. Close that. Had Steam open. But Marie looks absolutely adorable. Yeah. I mean, they kind of have equivalencies all over the world. Although, if I remember correctly from school, we had Renascentism, Illuminism, Humanism. So there were like a couple of different eras, generations, something like that. And they all were different somehow. And of course they came late to Romania. I don't know if Romania ever had Renaissance. Like we went directly from Middle Ages to current stuff. And we're mostly concerned about I think the independence of the Romanian countries. I think Romania as a country is less than 200 years old. It was a kingdom by Western standards, only 150 years old, because you had a bunch of other little kingdoms that weren't all recognized, something like that. And they had to be recognized by the neighboring empires. Because you're not a country until everybody agrees you're a country. Yeah, I've been meaning to read about Italy's history, because you know, when I think Italy I think, oh, it's 2000 years old, but now you had a bunch of little states. um so you kind of had the same thing that was happening in Romania as well. But it's just that the Italian peninsula, it's a lot more defined, so people find it on the map easier. I'm curious if the difference between the little Italian states is um, more important to Italians than it is in Romania, because you guys never had communism. All different republics or kingdoms, yeah. Because in Romania, the attitude and the notion that we are Romanians, we are the Romanian people, proud and noble and courageous and whatever. Uh, Trump's like regional stuff. We still make fun of different regions in Romania, just like Americans make fun of Southerners for being rednecks, or making fun of, I don't know, Minnesotans for having a weird accent or something like that. But at the end of the day, just like Americans cry, America, 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 um, we cry Romania, Romania, Romania. Oh yeah, you had fast. Yeah, yeah. So I guess that unified the notion that you're Italian and have Italian pride. Guess that filled in the communism niche. Because after monarchy, what are you gonna do? But it's very convenient for me as a European because I have so many um, uh, videos and um, drama series that I can look to for um, inspiration for the clothing and the stories and things like that in Wikipedia. So I'm gonna have to look at some uh, Italian dramas or something like that, like Medici and Borgias, to look at the clothing. Um, Because at the moment it's just one blur in my head in terms of the clothing. Like if I looked at the clothing, I wouldn't be able to say which century it's from. Like I could tell it's Italian and it's old Italian clothing, but other than that. But first I gotta find some Chinese soap operas to look at. Because in book 2, Niels is gonna go to China. And then India. And I saw on Netflix there's this new series, Rise of the Phoenixes. Have you seen it? Because that one's gonna have subtitles, so I'll be able to understand what's going on. Usually when I find a Chinese drama, it has no subtitles, or a Korean drama, it has no subtitles. And I look at it for a while and then I get bored. And I stop watching because I don't understand what's going on. I'm not sure if it's launched yet. I think it might be coming to November, something like that. So I'm gonna want to look at that and get some orientation at least. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be historically accurate. First of all the actors look ridiculously beautiful. Yeah, Chinese dramas are like telenovelas. I've seen the trailer, and they're jumping over everywhere, you know, like in the Chinese films, like on wires all the time. Half of the time they're on wires. But the reviews have been pretty good, so I hope it will not be too ridiculous for my European taste, and I'll be able to watch it without rolling my eyes all the time. Cause that's the difference between Western and Eastern dramas, and in Indian shows as well. It's so melodramatic, and I guess if you're used to it, you can endure and you can watch it without uh, being too annoyed. I mean, we have our own dramas that are absolutely stupid, and I don't watch those either, but um, I just need to hear more Chinese names because at the moment I really can't tell the difference between them. Um, Whenever I Google Zhang He, I always spell it wrong because it's been passed through English and English just butchered everything. And I always get the river, Huang He, instead of the Admiral, Huang He, or something like that. I'm probably not saying it good either, but that's how Google Translate says it sounds, the name. Because I've listened to a documentary about Huang He, and whenever they say his name, I can't even tell apart the sounds. It's like, I'm like, what? I can't understand. It's too subtle. I can't keep track of the different sounds. And I used to have this problem with Japanese as well, but after I studied Japanese, like now I can tell apart the sounds, and um, also when somebody says the name incorrectly, um, it annoys me. Like um, someone was doing an American show about koi's, um, carp fish koi. Uh, and the name ended in Ryu, which means dragon. Yeah, Japanese is easier. I think so too. And he was saying Ru, Ru, Ru. Ru means dragon. Ru means dragon. I was like, no, Ryu, Ryu. Please, for God's sake, stop saying it wrong. And it was just, I don't know, he was kept saying it wrong over and over again. It was like torture for me because I've gotten used to speaking Japanese formally, okay-ish, like I can manage. And he was saying, Ru means dragon, Ru means dragon. I'm like, no, Ryu, read the goddamn paper. You have the name written on Wikipedia. And to my relief, there were a bunch of people in the comments saying, stop torturing us. You're saying it wrong, you're doing it wrong. It was like one of the few times I was happy to read the comment section. I need to erase this line and put it in its place. There we go. So I think with a bit of practice I'll be able to tell apart the Chinese names. I just need to hear them more. And I think dramas can help with that. I just hope it's gonna be a good show. Because there's so many dramas like Bollywood and China, they produce ridiculous amounts of entertainment content and just never gets to us. I think they get more Western stuff than we get Eastern stuff. That's my impression. Like, have you ever seen any Chinese blockbusters in the cinemas where you are? Because you're pretty isolated on Sardinia. Like, I feel you would have the same diversity of films as I have here in Michigan. Because when I lived in the capital back home, like we would have Japanese week, Indian week, stuff like that, and all the old little cinemas, like they would get together because they were part of usually some kind of artist union. So they would have connections with the film schools and with newspapers and things like that. John Woo stuff. John Woo. I've heard the name, but I can't remember. Oh, action stuff. Woo films. Redcliffe John Woo. I'll go check this out. I'm curious from what year is it, because I kind of stopped being able to see foreign films. 28. I was probably in the exams. This way I didn't see it because it looks like a pretty big production. Yeah, it's definitely exams. Yeah, thanks for telling me. I'll go check it out. Mostly I've seen like anime films because kind of that's how things went. What recommendations I got. Erwin is so happy he thinks he caught Newton with secret stuff. But he'll be sorely disappointed. They've done quite a bit of documentaries on Isaac Newton's life. Most of it is very melodramatic. I guess you need to make it that way to get the British public interested in it. I kinda doubt that most of his later life's work would be about religion and alchemy. He was trying to be a wizard. Because he seemed level-headed enough to work at the Royal Mint, although considering how politicians are right now, I don't know. Like maybe they were more lenient back then as well. But he got himself a sigil, Newton, that's like um bones. I think he was going through an emo phase. I was surprised to find out that they blocked Twitch in China. There's so many things that are censored. Actually, I think they're doing a favor to Western YouTubers, because if the Chinese market broke and it wasn't separated anymore, uh, half of my YouTube channels I think would just be swamped and taken over by Chinese YouTubers. And YouTube's been giving less and less money for YouTubers, that I think if they had to deal with that much competition, they would not manage. Also, Indians, like haven't seen that many Indian YouTube channels, and I wonder, like, out of all of those people, don't they have uh, the financial possibility to do YouTube videos? And wouldn't it be more advantageous for them because the dollar is worth more than the rupee? Still, I don't see any big cooking channels from India. Like, I see a couple of them, and it's hard for me to understand what they're saying. They're supposedly speaking in English, but it's like listening to Welsh. It's hard to understand. Oh, by the way, on Stardew Valley Facebook group, somebody, an American, sent me a message. First time I didn't understand what he was saying. I thought maybe he was Canadian and speaking something, but then I realized that he was from the South and he was speaking Southern English. Like, the words were out of order, and I kind of realized he was Southerner when I saw it was like y'all in the middle of the sentence. I was like, wait, what? But none of the cooking, gardening, or anything video channels that have like thousands of, sorry, millions of viewers are any Asian-based team. Like you have some ethnic minorities, but they're still based in the US. So I think maybe you have to sign some contracts with YouTube and pay for advertising or something like that. Because otherwise I don't think you can reach that level. I wish I knew how you would advertise on YouTube your own channel. I would be curious of the price tag. Nope, it's almost 12. And I got pretty much most of the color base. I've moved faster than I thought I would. I did not color this well. I should have gone with a different base color and then it would have made my life easier. I did not think this through. Oh, sorry. Oh, sneeze. It caught me by surprise. I felt it coming and I was like, don't sneeze, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. And then it relaxed and I thought, okay, I'm safe. And then hapchoo. Just when you think you've gotten away with it. So many dots. This would look better in a speed painting. So I'm gonna select this and now retract some of the stuff. Will it work? Selection, invert selected area. I'll try my best to complete next page for Wednesday's time. Yeah, I think you might be able to if you're not too busy. Um, because it's um, there are less panels. Also, if you can't do it, it's no problem. There's a challenge I want to do. The one with the corgi and the lighting. I've kept saying I'm gonna do it, and I never got around to doing it. You're starting it tonight. Okay, thank you, June. That would be great if we can have pages even more done up uh, ahead of time, because like I said, next summer we might be having to travel back to Europe um, for the summer. So I might not be able to work during that time. I have to see. Fortunately, my tablet and laptop are mobile, so I can always um, take them with me and do some stuff, but it's gonna be a lot harder because the laptop is not as powerful as my desktop. And when that is the case, always issues. Like more crashes and stuff like that. So the more stuff I can have done ahead of time, the better. Ideally, I would finish Niels the comic until then, but I don't think so, given how slow I've been in the past. I'm gonna try and do less event illustrations and just repost the ones we already have. So I was thinking, so I have 80 pages done for 3 chapters. If I have already 3 other chapters, there'll be, let's say, 70. Divided by how many weeks are in a year. I think it was 57. 52. So it would be a year and a half best outcome. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish it in time. But at least if it's between chapters, which I think it's probably how it's gonna be, Then I can take a hiatus. Oops, what did my stream fall? No, I'm still streaming. Oh, you're on, yeah. I think I misunderstood you. You probably said oops to something else. Where was it? Close this one, I don't need it. There we go. Yeah, I was on the year and a half. Yeah, I have less than a year at this point, so it's gonna take twice as the time I have available, so it's probably gonna be with a hiatus. Ideally, I would avoid that um, because I'm just eager to get it done. Been working on it for so long, and I already know how the story is going to end for 2 years now. I've been sitting on the end of the story. Kind of reminds me of George R. R. Martin in his interview, and interviewers were asking him if he's gonna be emotional when the he finishes the series and publishes the last um, book, and is he gonna be surprised about anything? And he was like, how am I gonna be surprised about anything? I've known the ending for 20 years now. Uh, and I think, I think he kind of lost interest in his books because he's known them for 20 years. It's just that it's been such a big project. Uh, he kind of got tired of the story. Also, Agatha Christie, she wrote Hercule Poirot detective stories all her life, and kind of at the end of her life, she was, oh, I'm tired of this character. He's so annoying and unpleasant. And I don't know if you know Hercule Poirot, he has OCD and he's very arrogant, but it's a lovable character, really. So that's why I couldn't bear to write about the same character for 40 years. Um, I suspect the reason George R. R. Martin has been able to write about the same world for such a long time is that he keeps killing and inventing new characters, so he never gets bored, like Agatha Christie did. And also, it must be very taxing on the actors as well. So, David Suchet played Hercule Poirot for 25 years. Granted, is not as long as Leonard Nimoy played Spock, but still, 25 years of your life is pretty long. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have a shared universe for all of my stories as well, so I have the same laws of physics and stuff. Um, I don't need to worry about that aspect. It's just that there's gonna be on different planets with different creatures. So that should be easier on me. And since it's the same world universe as our own, I don't even have to actually worry too much about the physics laws, because I can just read up and find out how to do stuff. Because I'm like still working on some planets, trying to figure out how to do them. Because there's so many things that I want. I wanted to have this and that and the other thing, and uh, I have to check if the physics is plausible. Like, can I have a planet that has continuous sandstorms above, but can have ice underneath and all of that? And where am I gonna get the oxygen for it? They have algae and nuclear powered lamps to make it grow. I don't know. I'm kind of still figuring out stuff. Marie the princess. Who's a cute corgi? She wants high heels too. I'm on the wrong tool again. And some gold. Like sometimes lipsticks have them. Or white. Usually has like a white support plastic. Don't have any green there, so I guess I could play up the green color for more attention to this. Oh dear me. So cute. I'm not that big of a fan of dogs, but corgis are so adorable and tiny. I would like a corgi. I'm more of a cat person because dogs are just too big and they get everywhere. And um, yeah, I mean, if you have one of those Pomeranian, it's okay. They can't even get on the counter. It's kind of the best of both worlds, because cats can get on the counter and get in all your stuff if it's a bad cat. To find a corgi and yeah, they're not cheap. And also they're very fluffy, and I think it would be too warm for them so far south. They're a British breed, so I think they've been bred for a much colder climate. So I'm afraid they would kind of struggle in the south of Italy, especially in the summer. Like you would need something with short hair, I think. Not sure. Never actually had a dog that I was able to keep. Plus Romania, it's a lot cooler. It's kind of fur that works for insulation, so it's good for hot and cold. Really interesting. I didn't know it worked that way. Because I saw the pictures of your dogs and one of them kind of looked fluffy, so I was thinking that He's probably pretty hot in the summer. Short hair here is bad. Dogs get sick by mosquito bites easily. Oh, so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I didn't think of the mosquitoes. Poor dogs. Nobody likes the mosquito. They're evil. This chest would kind of go more up, I think. Name this chest ink small. And it's a bad disease, very bad. 2 of my dogs, oh, all short hair. But what's the disease name? Do you know? Is it like dog malaria? Leishmaniasis. Leishmaniasis. Thanks for telling me. I'll go check it out. Because generally I don't like the idea of buying any breed dog since there's so many abandoned dogs, but corgis are just so adorable. I would love one. Oh, it's a kind of bug. Poor doggos. Because usually they say that stray dogs have better immune systems. But corgi is a very old breed, so I imagine it would be doing okay in most circumstances. Like they got the kinks out of most of the issues with them having short legs. Because this is the reason I would not get a munchkin cat, because they have dwarfism and a lot of them have back problems, which is something I understand that corgis generally do not have despite the shape. But of course you have to go to a good breeder that doesn't give you a bad corgi, but it's so hard to find out. If I were to ever buy a dog breed, I would definitely go through a veterinarian that I trust. Like I would not Google it online. Cute corgis, low price. The problem is that some breeders do things wrong, yeah. Some of them do it very, very wrong. I understand it's a big issue in the UK. Yeah, I've seen some documentaries about it and it's just horrific. Mm. So even my stray cat, I got it from my uncle who was a veterinarian, so I trusted him that it was gonna be a healthy animal and everything's gonna be okay. And it was a stray cat. And he already knew it because his neighbor was feeding them. So he got one that was a hunter, which I really like because he got rid of all the roaches in my house. It was a good kitty. Hunted them. Big bad roaches. I mean, he was a bit of a jerk and he smelled really bad because he liked to go and sit around the dumpster. Like that was his favorite spot. I think maybe it reminded him of his childhood. If he got homesick, he would go roll around in the dumpster and come back home smelling like a dumpster. Also, he liked to sleep in my flower bed, like on top of my flowers. So I think maybe he liked to sleep in the grass or something. First night when I brought him home, I gave him a cat litter box and he slept in the litter box. He had a soft bed to sleep on, a whole bunch of other stuff, but no, he slept in the litter box until he discovered that he can poop in it. Poor cat. He had never seen a litter box in his life. He lived on a farm, so they had dirt roads there. So I guess he thought dirt road is bed. And when he came home with me, he probably thought, "Oh, this must be my bed." I'll fiddle with that chest some more later on. Okay, so I think I've pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I miss my cat. I want another cat. I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it and see you next time, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Michigan, USA time. Bye bye everyone.